friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we're going to do a camera review of the new Poco F3 GT. So Poco F3 GT is the latest flagship smartphone announced by Poco in India, and this comes with a Dimensity 1200 chip, and you also get a 16 megapixel selfie camera. Along with that you get a 64 megapixel triple camera setup. So how good is this device in terms of camera experience in the sub 30k price segment? That's what we're going to talk about in this detailed video. So before getting started, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin with the hardware aspects about the Poco F3 GT. In terms of camera hardware, the Poco F3 GT comes with a 64 megapixel primary camera with OmniVision sensor and f1.6 aperture. There is a secondary 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with 120 degrees field of view and a third 2 megapixel macro sensor. The front camera is a 16 megapixel in-display shooter with f2.4 aperture. Now let's have a look at some of the camera samples taken with this device. So in terms of daylight conditions, the 64 megapixel sensor does a good job in bringing details and sharpness levels. The OmniVision sensor isn't a popular choice at this price segment, but it provides good results though. The colors are quite good and natural looking without any saturation issues. A lot of these images are taken in cloudy and rainy day and hence may not be as bright as some of our regular photos. The images have come good with good amount of details, but when you zoom into the picture there is a bit of over sharpening happening in the photos, but the noise levels are kept to minimal. The colors are mostly accurate and even the sky colors tends to be natural even on a cloudy day. The dynamic range is once again good and it resolves shadows quite well. In terms of daylight conditions, the images turned out to be pretty good overall. Poco also offers an option to enhance colors with a Pro color mode which boosts the colors saturation. Next, let's move on to the ultra wide angle camera. The 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera does a decent job in maintaining the colors similar to the primary camera, and it succeeds in that as well. The colors are pretty much natural and sharpness levels are acceptable, although not as good as a primary camera. They just do exhibit noise, but this is more or less acceptable for an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle shots. The dynamic range seems decent on the ultra wide angle camera. Now moving on to the close-up shots, the phone comes with pretty good imaging capabilities, but the colors are a bit boosted, especially when it comes to the reds. The sharpness levels are quite good. Once again, it does a good job here. The phone has a 2 megapixel macro sensor, which isn't like the 2x telephoto lens on the Xiaomi phones. While this produces good results, it is not as good as the one on the Mi 11 Lite or the Mi 11X. Moving on to the portraits, the Poco F3 GT gets you good portrait shots, and one of the good things about the Poco devices is that they don't add unnecessary beauty mode and hence the skin tones are natural and brings in good details as well. The edge detection is also pretty good and overall portraits have come pretty good. Next step, the low light captures. In indoor lights and with adequate artificial light, the phone does a good job, and you can see that it does good with sharpness levels and the details are also quite good. When light drops further, you can see noise kicking in and the noise is visible as well. But at the same time, you can see that the details are quite decent. Also, some of the images in the low light tends to be a bit too over sharpened. Noise levels come down with night mode and the overall quality is definitely good in this price segment. The night mode helps in improving the quality of the photos with better details, so it's always better to use the night mode. Finally, the selfie camera. The 16 megapixel shooter does a good job with selfies. The skin tones aren't exactly natural, but they aren't too bad either. The selfies look a bit too contrasty though, but nevertheless it does a good job overall. The sharpness levels and dynamic range is also good. Since selfies are more of a personal choice, you can judge based on the images shown. The phone also has portrait mode for selfies. Here it does a decent job with edge detection, if not the best. Now moving on to the video recording. The phone can record 4K at 30 fps and the quality is good. The sharpness levels are quite okay and details are good. The video has good colors too. It also comes with electronic image stabilization and does a good job in terms of stabilized footage. The phone also supports 1080p at 60 fps and the video quality looks quite okay, and there is also stabilization being offered here. The 1080p at 30 fps supports stabilization and offers good clarity as well. The stabilization good and so is the colors. The sharpness levels are acceptable and overall quality is smooth with good colors too. The phone also comes with 1080p video recording for ultra wide angle lens, and once again it has stabilization. While the quality is not as good as the primary camera for obvious reasons, it does a decent job overall. The phone also supports slow motion at 120, 240 and 960 fps. The quality is quite average for the 960 fps video and it looks way too soft, while the 240 fps slow motion quality looks quite okay. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the Poco F3 GT, so you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output from the front camera. This is the dual video mode available in the Poco F3 GT, so you can you can take a video using both the rear and the front camera, and you can also change the position. Here you can see, here you have multiple options, so there you go, you can have multiple options. Additionally, the phone supports modes like clone mode, vlog, long exposure and pro color modes which can be toggled from the settings. So that is the camera review of the Poco F3 GT. So summing up, how good is the camera on the Poco F3 GT? The F3 GT offers good quality in terms of camera experience, with good daylight shots, decent ultra wide, good macros and good portraits along with decent selfie experience. The Poco F3 GT won't disappoint camera enthusiasts in this price segment. But yes, there is room for improvement in low light and also a bit of over sharpening issues. We are hopeful Poco will work on this with future updates. So that is a detailed camera review of the Poco F3 GT. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.